welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'm going to make twice baked potatoes. We're going to have steak for dinner tonight, and I thought, oh, we'll have baked potatoes with that. But then I thought, you know what? Why not kind of up it a notch and go with twice baked potatoes, because I have all the ingredients in my house. It's not all that complicated and takes only about 10 minutes more work than a regular baked potato would. So I thought I'd get the camera out and show you how I make my twice baked potatoes. I start out with just taking 4 large russet potatoes, or however many you need for your family. I'm making 4. We'll have 2 tonight and we'll have 2 tomorrow. But you just take a fork and kind of stab your potatoes just a few times on each side, just so they don't, you try and hope that they don't burst while they're baking. Be careful not to stab yourself. I've done that a time or two being fast. Okay, now I'm just going to take some extra virgin olive oil and just kind of drizzle, whoops, a little bit too much. Just drizzle a little bit on each one. And then I'm just going to kind of use my hands, get a little messy, make sure that they're very well coated. My husband loves to eat the potato skins, which I've always been told they're good for you. I don't know if that's true or not, or if it's just my mother trying to make me eat all that was on the table, or at least my serving. Dry my hands real quick. And now I've just got some sea salt here. You just kind of sprinkle. You'll get some on the edges, that's all right. But sprinkle each one. It's kind of an odd shaped potato. Wasn't being careful. I'm gonna turn them over so each side gets some of that salt. All right. At this point, I'm just going to add that to a 400 degree, that's preheated, a preheated 400 degree oven for about an hour. We want the potatoes completely cooked through. You should be able to stab them with a fork. If they're not quite done, because potatoes differ in size, just leave them in for 5 to 10, 15 minutes longer. However long it takes to make sure the middle of these potatoes is completely cooked through. I'm going to put mine in the oven and I will see you soon. Alright, my potatoes have baked up in the oven. I actually, these 3 baked up fine, but this big guy right here, he took 15 more minutes. So you can never tell just by the size of your potatoes how long exactly they're going to cook, but about an hour for normal potatoes. This one took an hour and 15. I took them out of the oven about 10 minutes ago. They're really hot, and this is the part where it gets kind of tricky. You don't want to burn yourself, but you want to just slice off. Let's see if I can slice off the tops of your potato, preferably without burning yourself. I'm going to just use, it's a clean oven mitt, and I'm just going to carefully slice off the tops of my potatoes. Save that because there's good potato meat in there, and you want to save that because it's all going to go into the mashed bits. I'll do one more for you. Ah, the skin. There we go. All right, I'm going to quickly just take off the tops of these other 2, and then I'll bring you right back. Okay, the tops of all my potatoes have been sliced off, and now we're just going to take those tops and kind of scoop out as much of the potato as we can. And that's all right, there's some salt from the potato skin kind of flaking off into the bowl. That's all right, no big deal. If you like potato skins, go ahead and eat those potato skins as an extra. Whoop. All that inside stuff is going to make our twice baked potatoes extra yummy. You don't want to do what I just did. I sliced right through the skin, but that's okay. We're gonna roll with it. If it helps, use an oven mitt and just kind of hold it firmly and see if you can't cut with a spoon around the sides of your potato, and then you'll just gently lift the innards of your potato right out. Try to get close to the bottom as you can without piercing through the actual skin and around the sides, because all of this potato, we're gonna mix it with a bunch of good stuff, and that's what's gonna make it taste wonderful. All right, I think you guys kind of get the gist. Like I said, just kind of get all those potato guts right out of there. So you'll want the sides to be kind of firm. Don't get too close. I got a little close here, but see if you can't kind of leave like a wall of potato, so your potato skins kind of have some structure to them. It's hard to describe what you're doing here. I'm gonna go ahead and empty out the last 3 of these potatoes off camera, so that way we kind of speed things up a bit, and then I will show you how to mash all these things up and what I put in them to make them wonderful. Alright guys, I have finished scooping out the last of my potatoes. I have a 1/4 cup of butter, kind of just diced up. Just kind of set that in there. And I'm gonna give them a quick mash to kind of help melt that butter. Now my butter has been sitting out a little bit, so it should melt rather quickly. Those potatoes are still quite warm. This is the part where if you wanted to get a mixer out, you can. If you don't like lumpy potatoes, we don't mind them. So I'm just gonna use a potato masher. We want that butter kind of mixed evenly and all melted, so that way all of those fluffy potatoes get a good serving of butter. Don't want to waste any. Okay. Now I have a 1/2 cup of, I'm using sharp cheddar, but you're welcome to use, get creative, use whatever kind of cheese you want. But I'm using a 1/2 cup of sharp cheddar. I'm going to stir that in so the cheese kind of gets melty a little bit. They're going to go back in the oven, so if it's not completely melted, that's all right. I have a 1/2 cup of sour cream. I'm just going to, there we go. I have a 1/2 cup of regular cream. Reuse my measuring cup here. You can use milk in this, and in case you just don't have cream on hand, that's all right. I'm all about working with what you got. I have a tablespoon of mayonnaise. This just kind of helps the potatoes thicken up a little bit, the eggs and the mayonnaise. I'm just gonna give it a quick stir before I add my spices. All right, now my cheat sheet here. I have a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of garlic, and a 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. Well, don't waste any. If you wanted to leave like a certain spice out, you're fine. I know one of my viewers said that she likes my recipes, but she just doesn't care for onions. So go ahead and just leave that onion powder out. No big deal. These will be good anyways, but if you like the little extra flavor, add that onion powder. You'd think with all that liquid in there that they'd be kind of soupy, but they're not. They stand on their own. All right. At this point, I am just going to start. Here, let me get my oven mitt. These are still quite warm. My pan is definitely warm. I'm just gonna scoop some of my potato mixture right into my potato skin boats. Let's see if I can. There we go. Trying to get as much of that mixture in there as you can. There should be more than enough because all of these potatoes came out of these potato skins. And we added extra ingredients, so logically, they should fit just fine. I don't add salt because remember we baked our potatoes in sea salt. So I just kind of leave that up to each person as they're eating it. If they'd like more salt, they can always add more, but if it's too salty, you can't really take it away. These already smell wonderful. You can pipe the potato mixture into the potato boats or the skins, but I kind of like just like the rustic look. Get back in there. There we go. Now they're kind of almost overflowing, but that's what you want. These are kind of decadent. A beefier potato, if you will. You don't want to waste any of that deliciousness. A little bit more. Waste not, want not. All right. Now everything in there is already baked. We just want to warm it up again, and so that the cheese and the potato can melt and the flavors can kind of all incorporate. I've just got a little bit more cheese here for garnish, and I'm just gonna kind of set it on top so the tops of my potatoes get nice and gooey and cheesy. Who doesn't like a little extra cheese, right? And of course you can always put some cheese on the table if your guests or whoever's eating it wants more. All right, I'm gonna pop these back into my oven, which is still on from when I was baking the potatoes at 400. I'm gonna keep an eye on them. I'm gonna put them in for 10 minutes, and I'm just gonna make sure that the cheese is getting melty, and so that way everything gets nice and warm again and a little bubbly. If it needs a little bit longer time, I'll kind of judge it at the 10-minute mark, see if it needs 2 to 5 more minutes. But I will bring you back when I take these guys out of the oven. Okay, my potatoes have baked in the oven for about 10 minutes. At this point, I've just got some crumbled bacon here. I'm just gonna kind of put that on top as garnish. And of course, if you're trying to keep it vegetarian, you can certainly keep the bacon off. But as bacon lovers, we like a little bacon. I actually have my bacon left over from a breakfast video I've done. I'm not sure if this video will go up before or after that, but just nuke it in the microwave for a couple seconds and it brings it right back. And I've also got some chopped green onions. Just gonna put on top, a little extra flavor. And color, of course, if you don't like onions, keep these off. Without the bacon and the onions, this will still be good. This just adds a little extra. But that's it. That's how I make my twice baked potatoes. They're really good. I hope you guys give them a try. If you like today's video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you like what I do here, please consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Thanks so much for watching.